Hello, good evening and welcome back to Ali Pally for the final session of this year's Masters Snooker. Things couldn't be more evenly poised. We've played 8 frames and the score is currently 4 frames all. Hello, good to see you again. Yeah, 4 frames all. We had 8 this afternoon. We have, of course, a maximum of 11 this evening. It's the first to 10, which makes the magic number just 6. And, of course, with it comes £200,000 and, more importantly, the Paul Hunter Trophy. Alongside me, as always, are Snooker's answers to the Chuckle Brothers. It's Jimmy White and Neil Foles. Boys, it's good to see you. Neil's not happy with that one. It could have been a lot worse. Believe me, I've cleaned it up. Boys, listen, we've got a game and a half on our hands at the moment because so much could have happened from where this final began to where we are now. It's beautifully poised, but it could have been so different. Ronnie Sullivan got off to the worst possible start, didn't he?
Yeah, he struggled from the start. He didn't get going at all. And Joe went 4-1 up, had a big opportunity to go 5-1 up, be kicking himself. But as we've been talking about, Joe Perry is experienced enough to try and clean the slate now, come out now as the best of 11, and hopefully he can produce some good play that he's had all week and hold Ronnie. But if you don't hold Ronnie, he'll go away with it.
Yeah, Neil, we saw moments there from the first few frames where Ronnie wasn't happy with the way he was playing, wasn't happy with noise going on around the arena. Will it be very different tonight, I imagine? Because right at the end of our afternoon session, Joe will be very disappointed, not only with his form towards the end of that session, but he had the chance at 5-1 up to, or 4-1 up to really bury the match. When he was 4-3, he had the chance to go 5-3 up as well. These are, I'm guessing, moments that will stick in his head when he comes back in the arena tonight if things don't start going his way early on.
I think that at 4-1 up, to be honest with you, 5-3 is an absolute bare minimum. 6-2 or even 7-1 at one point, there was a chance of that, you know, and imagine being 7-1 up, he's going to be clear. But 5-3 is what he needed, some kind of a lead. In a way, though, a couple of frames up, it kind of changes the pressure a bit tonight. So we thought we knew how this match was going to go, and we always thought that Ronnie was going to win, I guess. But we've been wrong before, haven't we? And I think we can expect the unexpected. This is a shot, and to be honest with you, he's played all the cannon and no pot there, and we've all been there, haven't we, on those?
Yeah, but he missed the black in the opposite pocket earlier on today to get on the yellow. So there's 2 other games. So in fairness, the way Ronnie's played, Joe could have easily been 6-2 up, you know, because Ronnie's missed so many balls. But what I'm impressed with Ronnie O'Sullivan is during this interval, he had something to eat, and then he was practicing on the table with Damien Hirst for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So he really wants this tournament. I've just seen him just before, you know, he wants to be 7 times Masters champion. So he'll be giving it everything tonight, so I don't think there'll be any excuses. If he has to sort of safety play it out, win it that way, he'll win it, because Ronnie O'Sullivan, believe me, wants to win this more than anything.
OK, let's remind ourselves of the stats from the first 8 frames so far. Remember, it's 4-4, it's the first to 10, and it's pretty even with regards to pot success and long pot success. The highest break there, unusual for Ronnie O'Sullivan to be in a final and not have at least a ton break, but that's it. That's where it stands at 58, and of course the score at the moment is 4 frames all. They are, of course, playing for the newly named Paul Hunter Trophy in honour of the 3 times Masters champion. We sadly lost in 2006, aged just 27 years old.
When you say Paul Hunter, we think of the Masters victories. I've seen all of his victories in the Masters, and I think those are like incredible wins. So I think he's just a fighter. He's just a fighter on and off the table, and I really admire that.
Yeah, he just seemed to fit with this event, and he won three amazing finals. I mean, when you look at it, three deciding frames against Fergal, Mark and Ronnie. So, yeah, a long time coming, definitely.
As a younger player growing up, he was one of my favourite players, you know, especially watching him, you know, win this tournament 3 times, the way he did as well, you know, it was quite something special. I think they were all 10-9 deciders, so, yeah, it's very fitting that the tournament's named after him.
There was no one like Paul, really, you know, good-looking lad, like David Beckham of snooker, really. So, you know, he was great for snooker. Won the tournament 3 times. So it was a special occasion player, really, Paul, you know, and it is a special occasion tournament, so why not have, you know, it makes perfect sense to have a great tournament named of a great player.
When we was juniors, we played in a tournament called New Kids on the Bays, and we could only have been 14, 15. So I remember sitting in the arena, went down and sat in the chairs with him, and remember him saying to me, "Oh, this is a bit daunting," and he was only 15 at the time, and then obviously he went on and love performing in arenas. So yeah, I'll never forget sitting there and talking to him, and yeah, he was such a, well, down-to-earth bloke, really.
He was a handsome boy, blonde hair, blue eyes, you know, really smart boy, you know. And I said to him, he bought a BMW convertible, and I said to him, I said, what are you buying that for then, Paul? Well, I've got to pull the birds in some way. It is so funny because he was handsome, you know what I mean? All the women were after him and all that.
It's such a fitting tribute that the trophy be named after him, because he was the master for that little spell when he was, you know, winning these trophies. And I've got such high respect for Paul, not just as a snooker player, as a person. You know, he was absolutely fantastic. It's great that his mum and dad still come. I see him today, and it's always, you know, a pleasure to see them. They're still involved, and it's just a name that every snooker player will always remember. He's, you know, snooker players come and go, but I think Paul Hunter's name will always be remembered, and so it should be.
Yeah, and that is the trophy, the Paul Hunter Trophy, and rightly so, in my opinion, as well. Jimmy, you knew Paul, as did Neil, of course. No doubt in his ability. You can't win a tournament like this 3 times by chance, and in my mind as well, no doubt he would have gone on to win the World Championships on several occasions. What did he have as a snooker player that's quite rare?
You know, he wasn't phased. He had a fantastic temperament. You know, to win 3 Masters, he was behind. He was 7-2 down, 6-3 down. I think he was 7-2 down to O'Sullivan in one of the finals. Won each from 10-9. But he had that sort of attitude, you know, if he lost, you know, within no time at all, he was just the same Paul Hunter. You know, he's a happy-go-lucky chap, you know, sadly missed. He was a really lovely kid.
Yeah, Neil, I imagine it adds a little bit extra spice because, you know, I know Ronnie was good friends with him, I'm sure Joe as well, and I'm guessing you want to become the first player to lift up the Paul Hunter Trophy, don't you?
Yeah, I think so, and I think Barry Hearn doesn't admit to making many mistakes, but he admits in previous regimes this should have been done before because it's obvious. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? I mean, he won the Masters 3 times, one of the great Masters champions, you know, great player. I actually commentated on his last ever match with Willie Thorne in the World Championships where he lost to Neil Robertson when he wasn't very well, and tough one.
Well, I'm delighted to say that his parents are actually here at Ali Pali tonight to watch the final, and earlier on, Neil caught up with his dad.
I'm here with Alan Hunter, Paul Hunter's father. Good evening to you. I bet you're very proud that this trophy is named after your son, and he was a wonderful player at the Masters and just a great snooker player and a great guy.
Absolutely, Neil. It's fantastic to be back at the Masters. Paul always said, the Masters is mine. He loved playing here. And when Barry Hearns announced last year at the Crucible that they was going to rename the Masters Trophy to the Paul Hunter Trophy, his mum and I was over the moon. So proud, such a great tribute to Paul's memory, and a great legacy for his daughter, Evie Rose.
Yeah, wonderful. And not before time, I might. Even Barry has admitted that this should have been done a few years ago. So we're here now, and he won the title in 2001 and 2002. He's the last man to attain it, actually, and then he won it in 2004. There were wonderful comebacks in all of those. But the last one is the one we kind of remember most of all, because one of the finalists, Ronnie O'Sullivan, was 7-2 up on him, but he was a fantastic player from behind. What was it like, that final?
When he was 7-2 down, Neil, he said to me, Dad, it's not over yet. And it wasn't. That was a great night. Ronnie and Paul came down to rock and roll music. There was both, had the long hair with the Alice bands in, and it was a fantastic night.
Fantastic night, and we'll never forget him. And I bet you're going to be very proud of this evening because you're going to be presenting the winner, the trophy, and that's going to mean a lot to you, isn't it?
Yeah, yes. Could be a bit emotional. We'll just have to see how... yeah, I'm very proud. It's fantastic.
Enjoy the evening, Alan.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. A very emotional Alan Hunter. And, of course, this was one of the 3 times he became Masters champion way back in 2004. There's our very own Joe Johnson as well. Jimmy, an emotional night, not just for his parents, but the players as well. And talking of fight back, there's Ronnie, of course, who led in that final. It all makes for a very special night of snooker tonight, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's you know, it's beautiful that they've named it after the Paul Hunter. As Neil said, and everyone said, it should have been done a few years ago. His mum and dad are here tonight, very proud, and you can see him on the screen there. So it's very fitting that it's named after him, and rightly so, because he, you know, he did own this tournament, didn't it?
Yeah, he did indeed. And interesting what you said there was the last player to retain it, and we might be having that tonight, but not if Joe Perry's got anything to do about it.
No, that's right. You know, everyone thinks about the Sullivan final. He was 5-0 down against Mark Williams in the final. 5-0 down and beat him, you know, and he was way behind in the other one against Fergal O'Brien. He just had something about him, you know. He couldn't just beat you. He'd have to dangle the carrot and then whisk it away. You know, he's a wonderful player. Real sad loss to the game, just in general.
Yeah, yeah. Your thoughts echoed around the world. Right, we're going to have a quick break, and when we come back, the magic number is 6. 6 more frames, and you will become Masters champion, and with it, that Paul Hunter trophy. All live, all coming up right here on Eurosport when we come back. Warm welcome back to Ali Pally. If you are a football fan, you can watch the Africa Cup of Nations. It's on now. If I find out you're flicking over to watch the football, I will block you on social media. You stay with us tonight, all right? You stay with us. We've got an amazing game of snooker coming your way. 4-4, first to 10, to find out who the Masters champion will be. In fact, we can cross over to our lead commentator, David Hendon. Should be there. He is, as if by magic. Can hear me loud and clear. Dave, thanks so much for joining us as always. We've got a massive game of snooker on our hands. It could have been so different. It's beautifully poised at 4-4. Which of the players do you think, firstly, will be happy out of the 2 players because it is 4-4? Bearing in mind that Joe had lots of chances to effectively kill this game off, but the bottom line is it's 4-4 and there's 1 session left.
Yeah, I think it's the interesting psychology of long matches. You know, if you'd have said to Joe Perry at the start of the match it's 4-4 coming back tonight, you'd probably be happy with that. But it's not so great when you've been 4-1 up. And I think he did start to feel a bit of pressure towards the end of the session just to get a lead, any sort of lead, 5-3, 6-2. We saw him miss a couple, make a few mistakes. Nicely poised, but I think he'll feel if he loses the final later, he may have possibly have lost it in the first session.
What sort of game then can we expect, Dave? Will Ronnie come out the blocks? Jimmy spoke to him earlier on. He had about 2 hours on the practice table. He seems up for it. Do you expect him to come out just all guns blazing, or maybe play similar to how we played in the first session this afternoon?
I think if he's going to come good at any point, it's going to be right at the end of the tournament. It's set up nicely, isn't it, for a good O'Sullivan performance tonight, as he's done so many times, not just in this tournament, but many others. I wouldn't rule Joe Perry out, though. You know, he's very level-headed, Joe Perry. He's had a great couple of seasons. You know, he's 42 now, but he's had the best time in his career the last couple of years, so he's by no means out of it. But, you know, to trot out the old cliche, Andy, he's got to make a good start tonight.
OK, Dave, thanks as always. Look forward to listening to you throughout the duration of tonight's match. Boys, look, not long to go before the players come out. We all wrote off Joe Perry before this final started, and we were all proved wrong. I think it's fair to say it's 4-4. But, having said that, this is where it matters now. Every frame he's got to stay with Ronnie, hasn't he? He's still, of course, favourite with the bookies, and that means something. And I just wonder if Ronnie does start to pull away, will his head drop?
Well, you know, at the start of the competition, he come in here and he said he didn't care whether he won or lost. Then he went out and played fantastic snooker in his next 2 matches, beat Ding, and then won last night against Hawkins 6-5. All of a sudden, it's realisation. He's come out today, 3-1 up, 4-1 up, you know, and threw chances away, which he wouldn't normally do, you know, in a match, like the 2 blacks he missed off the spot. They're unforgivable. So if he can get that out of his mind and come out and play to the top of his form, he's got a chance to get close to Ronnie. But if Ronnie takes off a bit, one-way traffic for me.
OK, Neil, we had a very late finish, a famous Masters late finish last night. Do you see similar tonight, or could it be a job done quite quickly if Ronnie is firing?
This is not going to be over very quickly. I don't think this is going to be Ronnie reeling off 6 frames. I think Ronnie's under pressure. He's lost in 3 finals, but this one, no one believes he's going to lose. So he's under it tonight, and I want to see how he reacts.
OK, boys, for the time being, as you can see, the players are coming in. There's Joe Perry. A reminder that any questions you've got for any of the boys, we're going to have fun at our interval, and any questions you've got for Jimmy or Neil, use the hashtag AskJimmy. You've just seen Dave Hendon. Neil Foles will be alongside him for commentary of our final session of this year's Masters, and that's right after Rob Walker introduces Ronnie O'Sullivan, defending champion, into the arena.